So we're at the homie's house, or you guys are gonna get to meet the new downshifter vehicle, which basically will be on the videos probably as much as my Jeep itself, or you know, when we tag along and we hit some of these trails or some of these events, or you know, that kind of stuff. The vehicle wasn't starting, but from my understanding is he still needed to change a couple parts out of the vehicle, so I told him I would come over today. Once again, I'm like a beginner at all this, so as we go through this together, I'm still learning, and he was up to, you know, letting me chill for the day, and basically I told him I would just help him out as much as I could. You know, I kind of know the basics about things, only be helping him out and checking out what he's going to be doing with his vehicle today. And maybe it'll help you guys out if you guys have this type of vehicle and are trying to do some, you know, trying to fix some parts or remove or add to your vehicle. Let's check out the vehicle that's part of the Downshifter family now. Alright, so there you have it. New addition to the Downshifter team. It's a 1989 Jeep Cherokee XJ model. So like I mentioned earlier, the vehicle's currently not running. We have an idea what it is. We are going to replace the starter because we're definitely thinking that it is the starter that's giving us issues. So we're going to change that out today. We are going to change out all the fluids for the vehicle. So flush out transmission, flush out the engine, filters, do all that good stuff. Because from my understanding, it has not been changed in a very long time. So extremely dirty. We're also going to change out the transmission mount. It's basically gone, deteriorated. The pads are deteriorated. So we are going to change that. We are going to work on the radiator today. We're going to remove the old radiator and we're going to go ahead and put in an aftermarket radiator with a 3-fan. There is some electrical wiring that has to be done, but the good thing, my buddy is pretty good at a lot of this stuff and has worked on electrical in the past. So I think we'll get through this hopefully pretty easy. And you guys will be listening or hearing my voice just to kind of let you know what we're doing and walk you through a couple of things. But besides that, let's start the video.
Dame, güey, más o menos. ¿Sí?
Right there should be fine.
Ahí está, güey. Ahí va para abajo. Hopefully it'll hold it. A ver.
So we decided to do some of the stuff at the bottom of the car first, and that's basically working on changing the transmission fluid, also working on replacing that transmission mount. But at this point, he's removing the cross member off the Jeep to make it a lot easier to work on those two things, of course, because we can't work on it unless we remove that first. It didn't take so long besides just trying to figure out the sizes of the nuts that we needed to remove. That's what we're working on at this moment. So he did have a bit of a hard time changing the transmission mount because the bolts were all different sizes. So we had to go through a couple of different size sockets. So before putting the new transmission mount, he wanted to make sure that all the bolts were the same size in case in the future we were off-roading or we're doing something and something happened and he needed to replace. He knew what size socket he needed throughout his whole vehicle, of course. So that's all we're doing at this point, just making sure that all the bolts are the same size. We're just going to work on changing that transmission fluid, but before that we want to make sure that the transmission pan is completely clean from all the old sealant, and then making sure we clean out the inside with some brake fluid. We'll spray that really well, clean it really well. That way we can go ahead and add any of the oils or sealants or whatever you guys add, and then adding the new gasket to the transmission pan. And after that, we'll just go ahead and install it.
Do you think we should change the... Man, look at that.
What do you
Other shit.
what do you want to change?
Fucking
Been changing a bunch of parts throughout the day. Probably just gonna, it's already pretty dark, pretty late, but a lot of things are gonna go into this car. Eventually it's gonna get lifted, but as before that all that happens, we will be taking it out and hitting some trails, some light trails. Probably easy to moderate, but definitely a project. I think it's gonna come out pretty cool at the end. You guys will be seeing this Jeep transform into a pretty cool off-roading vehicle. The sun's already basically went down, but we're gonna probably I'm gonna help him change the radiator. I don't know. I don't know at this point if we'll have a little bit of light, but we'll check it out. It's 6 p.m. already, but had my first meal for the day. Let's keep at it. I don't think there's much more to do. Well, there was a couple other things to do, but he wasn't able to get the parts by today. But for sure the radiator he's gonna put on, which is a 3-fan radiator, so he does have to run electrical wiring for this radiator, since he's not putting the one of the OEM radiators back into the vehicle. So I'll record a little bit of that, check it out, show you guys, and we'll see. We'll go from there.
Van al revés, güey. I was sweating, I was shitting it already.
And you're like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to make this adjustment here?
Should I put Teflon tape on it? Yeah. Well, I'll let you take your photos. You did?
Yeah.
You go pon el Teflon tape on los dos. The one thing I am gonna have to fucking cut is that top piece that goes here. I'm gonna have to cut a round hole like this for this shit.
Oh, okay.
Only bracket arriba. But it's a straight install. It's a straight fit, mira. And these are slim too. It's not as thick as the other ones. So hopefully those tornillos work. I'll fucking put them with those. But I was just...
It seems like it.
Yeah?
It basically is almost the same. Maybe a little, like, pero se mira que sí va a caber. So after 5 attempts of trying to mount or put the mounting brackets back onto the radiator, he finally got it. For some reason, one of the screws was shorter on the new radiator, so he was having a bit of a hard time, but he finally got those brackets installed on the radiator. At this point of the video, he's basically just gonna go ahead and work on the wiring. He does need to extend the electrical cable so they can run to the battery, and then add a relay and do all that good electrical stuff that I really have no idea what I'm talking about at this point, but the homie does, and he's pretty good at it. So at this point of the video, like I said, he's just trying to figure out what is the best placement of this wiring because of where it's going to go to. So yeah, let's continue looking at this, and I think we're almost pretty much close to being done. No, we're not close to being done. Yeah.
Because I would love to fucking put them straight down. If this was facing down, lo podría down todos. Either way, it's gonna look medio mamoncito, güey, pero. Or I'll give you one of my hack tricks. Cable clamps. This tornillo, you know what I mean? Is it gonna fucking fall through when I take it out? If I put shorties, I can clamp these fuckers down right there.
You sure?
Yeah, because it's thick, fool. Look at how much space you got. Because I don't think it's gonna fit here. For sure as fuck. I'm gonna say, no, it's too fucking high. I need it right here para que se mire bien. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Both.
Does it? I still gotta cut the top, the fucking header. Se lo voy a poner wire loom aquí. Don't tell everybody my secrets. Now we just hook up this here. So I'm used to seeing the relay. So this is your out. Pero Martin wanted to hook it up different, so that one's gonna be your power to the battery, your trigger from the thermostat switch, ground, and then the ignition. So we'll see how that works. It's hard to run the fucking wire with it.
So he's all done installing all the wiring for the radiator. At this point, it's time to install it back into the vehicle. Unfortunately, we did have to take it out about 2 to 3 times because he forgot to add the belt, and then he forgot to add something else onto the vehicle as well. We needed the radiator to be removed so you get those pieces back installed back into the vehicle.
Y blah blah blah. Y valió verga.
Don't tell me you really don't have to take it out again.
¿No quiere entrar, güey? Let's be sliding in somehow.
Wait, and then after, is it gonna rub though?
No, it won't rub, fool, but I need to fucking put this pulley in. Fuck it, afuera otra vez. Fuck, we put those already in.
Well, they're not all the way in.
You think? No, that's a...
No, I don't. I think you should take it off.
Mira.
You wanna try it? Bingo! It was a long day, but really worth it. It's around 11:42 p.m. at night, and we finally got the car running. Just want to thank you guys for sticking around and checking out the video. There's going to be more videos like this. We're going to be working on the XJ and doing more upgrades, like I said, lifting it and all that good stuff. The XJ will be on more of my videos, and of course you guys will be seeing my Jeep as well. So thank you for checking me out, Downshifters. See you on the next video. Peace.